Welcome back everyone. I have just built this tub which I am going to use in the winter to do some ice bathing. I don't know what you really call it, and this video will be about pH adjustment and water disinfection. There still needs to be some filtering with this water because it looks a little bit cloudy. To get to it, we are first going to measure the pH using this electric pH meter. Just dip this thing in here and can you see it? Just swirl it around a little until the screen stabilizes. In the end, I was left with a pH of around 7.3, which is a little basic. The ideal pH would be around 7.6, and therefore we are going to add some sodium carbonate to get the pH up a little more. Just sprinkle it in and let it all dissolve. If the pH is too high, that means above 7.6, you could use hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid or sodium bisulfate to lower it a little. There are plenty of calculators on the internet you can use to calculate how much acid or base you need to add. Now there's time for one more step, which is disinfection. This step should definitely not be recreated as I am going to do it, because I will use elemental bromine for this step. If you do this, use chlorine tablets or use bromine tablets, but do not use elemental bromine if you are not a chemist and if you don't know what you are working with. The ideal disinfected water contains levels of 1.2 to 2 milligrams per liter of bromine, and in our case we have 1000 liters of water, which corresponds to 2 grams bromine in total. You need 2 grams of bromine, and bromine has a density of 3.12 grams per milliliter. We will need around 0.64 grams, not grams, milliliters of this red and toxic stuff. I shall repeat, do not try this at home. Bromine is toxic. If you don't know what you are dealing with, do not even think about handling elemental bromine, because this stuff is really toxic. You cannot see it on this video, but a gas mask was one, and we also put on some chemically resistant gloves. We are also going to put this bromine directly into water to limit some evaporation. Again, don't try this. Bromine is toxic. We wore a gas mask and we know what we were dealing with. After capping the bottle, you were also able to see why we didn't pour the bromine directly into the tank. Bromine dissolves rather poorly in water and it takes a lot of time if you are not able to shake it. Also, bromine is a really active bleaching agent, and if you just pour it into a pool, it would just bleach all of that nice blue stuff into white, and it could also destroy your plastic. So now that the bromine's in there, we shook it to prepare a really concentrated solution of bromine water. You can see the nice and red color of the bromine water. This stuff is still highly toxic, but when contained in 1000 liters, when diluted to 1000 liters, the bromine is really just a disinfecting agent and it won't be that toxic. Have a closer look at that bottle. It's nice concentrated bromine water. Enough to reach a concentration of 2 milligrams of bromine per liter in 1000 liters of water. Even during the following step, a full face gas mask was worn because the bromine water still liberates a lot of toxic bromine vapor. So there we go. The bromine water was simply poured into our pool water. And afterwards it was allowed to disperse. Then there was one last step. This water contains a lot of metal ions and I want to crash all of them out to prevent some ugly colors from forming. How do we do this? We use some 11.9% hydrogen peroxide to prevent algae formation and to crash all of these nasty metal ions out as oxides. It's actually not all of those metal ions, but a large part of them will crash out and they can be filtered out from the bottom of this container. 250 milliliters of 11.9% hydrogen peroxide were measured out. This is a huge overkill, but because this stuff will only form some oxygen and water, this really doesn't matter. Again, the hydrogen peroxide was just dumped in. And there you go. How to adjust the different aspects of water for a pool, or in this case for this ice bathing tank. I'm going to measure all of these different things you can measure in 5 days again. Today I measured them, the pH is perfect and the bromine level is also perfect, but we shall see, these should be checked temporarily. If you like this video, make sure to drop me one of these and consider subscribing to my channel for actual chemistry content in the future. I wish all of you a nice day. Until next time. Bye.